Hey guys, welcome back. The title of this video is going to be 3 reasons why you should sell a stock. 3 reasons why you should sell a stock. Now, I definitely don't recommend selling stock too often, okay? And not a lot of people out there in the YouTube land, in the finance space, they rarely talk about selling stocks, okay? They usually talk about when to buy stocks, right? Obviously, buy them on the dip, right? But I think it's important to talk about selling stocks too, all right? So I've got 3 reasons when you should sell a stock, all right? And the first reason I'm gonna go into, which is more about you selling a stock, all right? And it has to do with your position in life, okay? You could be in a stock that's either on an uptrend or a downtrend, either one, all right? Depending on your position in life, you could be forced to sell a stock. Whether it's, maybe you're making a life change, maybe you're looking to buy a house and you need liquidity, that could be a reason, right? Or maybe, you're looking to retire, you might be selling stock for that reason, right? That's a personal reason. As well as if you come into financial hardship, right? That's the worst reason to sell a stock. And I hope that you never have to deal with that, right? That's one where whether it's on the downside or the upside is the worst reason, especially if it's on the downside. If you're in the red on a stock and you have to sell for personal reasons, that's a bummer, right? That's a bummer that I don't want you to have to deal with, okay? So that's the first reason, more personal side of things, money management and whatnot. So as well as margin, all right, guys, if you have margin in the stock market and you're down on a position, that can hurt you tremendously and it may cause you to sell your position. It happened to me once, all right? I've had to sell positions because I was leveraged too much in my life. And the same thing happens even in the real estate market. You look at 2008, what happened there, guys? You could have held through all those, losses in the housing market, but a lot of people sold because they were over levered. They had 2, 3 mortgages. One of them was a flip, one of them was their second house and their primary house, and they got burned probably on all 3 of them, right? So personal leverage can force you to sell an asset, whether it's a stock or real estate or whatever it is, all right? So that's the first reason. Reason number 2, the company's fundamentals that you originally invested for have changed, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, maybe they've changed a direction with their products, right? Maybe certain products they're selling differently than when you first invested, okay? Even like my Tesla investment, they're going from EVs to AI and robots, right? That's a different trajectory for the company. Now, am I planning on selling because of that? No, I actually agree with that trajectory of the company, right? But a lot of people, they change their minds if a company changes. Okay, what about the fundamentals of the leadership of the company, right? Let's say, the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen, right? What if he left the company? That could be a big reason to sell the stock, guys. Leadership is a huge factor when it comes to selling a stock, right? It's called a key man risk, all right? The key man risk is pretty important when you're invested in a stock, all right? And when you decide to maybe sell a stock, all right? What's another reason when it comes to the company itself? Well, maybe their profits are diminishing, right? Or maybe they cut a dividend. That could be a reason to sell a stock too. These fundamentals, they can deteriorate, okay? So that can be a reason as well. All right, so you got to pay attention to the companies you're holding, especially when you're looking at individual stocks. When it comes to the S&P 500, you're looking at the broader economy. If you start to see a deterioration in the broader economy, we start seeing unemployment spike, You know, could you sell the S&P 500? Sure. You know, but for individual stocks, you can pay attention to the company as well. All right. So that's reason number 2, the fundamentals of the company. All right. And then reason number 3, valuation, guys. Valuation can be a big reason why you sell a stock. Okay. And unfortunately for me, I'm kind of sad about it, but I sold Palantir, guys. I sold Palantir at $111 a share. I didn't get the high. You're never going to sell the high. I think the high was $126 a share. But the valuation had gotten ridiculously out of control. Now, you're probably going to have to be in the stock market for a while before you understand what a high valuation is. And you'll kind of know it the first time you're in a stock that goes to the moon, gets super pumped as far as valuation goes, and then it drops like a rock, you know. And this was me for Tesla. I learned my lesson. Okay, Tesla in 2021 was valued at 1 point something trillion dollars, and it went all the way back down to 300 billion or something like that. Okay, when you feel that kind of volatility, you know now from experience that a stock is overvalued. And that's why I sold Palantir. It had gone to the moon, and you know, it had priced in 10 years worth of growth, to be honest. If you compare it to a company like Salesforce, Salesforce is trading at a $300 billion valuation, and so is Palantir. And the difference between those two companies is Salesforce's revenue is almost $40 billion, and Palantir's is $4 billion, guys. That's a 10x in revenue that Palantir has to catch up to Salesforce in order to, you know, basically be at the same valuation, guys. So now that's not to say that Palantir can't keep going. It could go up to, you know, even $1 trillion. It could do that. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Okay. But, you know, it's funny that I sold, and now it's had 2 huge days going down. Don't get me wrong, it can bounce right back, right? It may not go down very much further, but I took my profits and I'm planning on getting back in. All right, I'm sure eventually the crash will happen. There'll be some softness, whether it's in their military side or the commercial side. The first sign of softness, that thing's gonna go down to probably 40, 50 bucks. And that's where I'm probably gonna start stepping back in, get the same position I had, maybe a little bit bigger, who knows, you know. I'm still very bullish about Palantir. I think that company, you know, is going somewhere. It just, you know, it may soften for a bit. It could be a few years before it even, you know, moves above the 125 level, the $300 billion level. So who knows, you know, again, I'm not a professional. I can't tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, as far as when to sell these stocks or when to buy them. These are just my opinions, and this is for entertainment purposes only. But so I'm kind of sad that I did sell that stock, but the valuation was just too high, to be honest. Now, I'm not going to buy any puts on it. That's not my vibe. I'm not into shorting stocks. Just because they're highly valued doesn't mean they'll go down anytime soon. So be careful about that, guys. So those are my 3 reasons. Personal reason, number 1. Company fundamentals, number 2. And, you know, the company's valuation is the 3rd one. And that's the unfortunate one, you know. If Palantir was at like $60, I don't think I'd be selling, to be honest. But at $300 billion, I made like a 6X on about $6,000. So I made like $30,000. It was a nice chunk of change, right? So maybe I can get back in for 10 grand. Who knows when it finally drops? Because I was in pretty low. I was in at like $15 and $25 a share. Sold at 111. That's a good trade. You know, that's a good move, I think. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. You know, let me know in the comments below when you think you should sell a stock, if you should ever sell a stock. I know Warren Buffett, he never even thinks you should sell stocks, but he does too. He's been selling Apple like crazy and, you know, selling other companies, and maybe he's got a broader outlook rather than just individual stocks. but who knows, right? Lots of factors there. But that's my take on it. So I don't like selling stocks, but I did. So I wanted to disclose that to you guys and let you know. So anyways, you guys have a great day. Take a look at my previous video if you could. And I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye.